in about 6.5 minutes.
Great.
Go.
Thank you so much. Yes, I am Laurie Gardner, Solution Engineer at Apsona. I'm beyond thrilled to be joined by Eric Greenwood, Associate Director of Alumni Engagement and System Administrator at Colorado College. Boy, Eric, that is a mouthful. Thank you so much for joining me today, Eric.
Yeah, absolutely. Happy to be here. Just excited to tell our story a little bit as it relates to Apsona.
Yeah, so let's start with, what were the challenges that you were facing related to event reporting?
Sure. So about 3 years ago, we transitioned from our previous CRM to Salesforce. With that transition, we also moved our event platform to Blackthorn, a plugin of Salesforce. And we identified pretty quickly that although Salesforce had some solid reporting out of the box, we were going to need something a little more robust that could not only pull data from our CRM, but also from attendee records within Salesforce, and Apsona was the tool.
Yeah, so tell me a little bit more about how, either the challenge that you were facing with just through native Salesforce reports and how Apsona kind of created the solution for you.
Absolutely. So prior to Apsona, if we wanted to have a report that took data from both our CRM and from our attendee records for events, we would have to run a report from the event and then basically submit a data ticket to our data team to ask them to kind of fill in the blanks with the data from our CRM. We recognized pretty quickly that, from an efficiency standpoint, that probably wasn't going to work great. Apsona, again, allows us to, with one click, run reports for all of our events that pulls, fields from different objects within Salesforce that are related to both Blackthorn and our overall CRM.
Okay, so what you're saying is that using Apsona's multi-step reporting tool, you were able to use objects that were Blackthorn objects, the attendee information, as well as the kind of native Salesforce objects, contact account, et cetera, to pull in all of those details together. And you said something else that was interesting. You said, with a click. Describe for me, for those who are listening who don't really know what Apsona is or clicking a button, explain what that means, where you see this button and what happens when you click those buttons.
Absolutely. So at the top of all of our Blackthorn landing pages in the CRM side, so when our users are going to an event homepage, essentially, we have, I believe, 4 buttons right now that run different reports based on who the user is. In the system, if somebody needs to run a finance report that pulls data from, donation information plus, account information, they can do that. If we're just running a report to see what someone's, for an example, we have reporting that can tell you what someone's t-shirt size or dietary preference is, which we only ask in the event registration, with also, if you have the right permissions, giving information, relationship manager information, all that stuff, creates just a comprehensive report that, whether you're an admin, whether you're on the operations side, whether you're one of our fundraisers, or you're someone planning an event, when you're on that landing page, that home page, you can just click the button and you can obviously pare down what fields are in the report that gets exported. But it's great to be able to have that one-click solution. It's easier to pare it down than it is to add more fields after the fact.
And I imagine this is especially critical for the bigger events with multiple sessions, multiple days, like your family weekends and homecomings.
For sure. So we have reporting that, works for all of our events, but we also have some unique Apsona reports that have been built specifically for our largest on-campus, multi-day, several session, plethora of ticket types events. And we've been able with Apsona to create a report that our team can run dynamically, and also that allows our team to process registrations in batches while still getting all the information they need. That way, you're not relying on one report to work for you right at the end when you go to make all your event packets or get all your dietary information for catering. They can do them in groups. It's a pretty nifty little report. They can also sort in it. Only want to work with a certain class, no problem. So again, Apsona has been scalable for us for whether it's just a couple survey questions essentially plus contact information, or it's a really robust event where folks have a lot of different event tickets and sessions.
Awesome. So how has this impacted you personally, like doing your job and the requests that you were getting before?
Yeah, so it's saved me a lot of time because previously, if one of those other stakeholders, let's say somebody in our leadership team or someone in, working with giving or fundraising or stewardship wanted that combined information, they would come to me and say, hey, can I get your piece of it? Or can you put in a ticket? Or even can you just run a report for me? Well, I identified pretty quickly, why don't we create a system where everyone can at least run the reports within our division? So there's no excuse, right? Whoever you are, you can do that click and get that information. Saves a lot of back and forth, emailing spreadsheets, all that kind of stuff.
Awesome. So it sounds like it's more efficient for the users, for you, for basically everyone in advancement or everyone who's a stakeholder for events. And it looks like we've got about 30 seconds left. Eric, anything else that you would like to add or say about the process?
I would just add that we also appreciate the support from Apsona. Ironically, I get to work with you, right? So if we need something on the back end configured that I can't do from our side, you've been responsive and helpful, and we keep improving on these reports. So thank you.
Awesome. Thanks.
Wow, 4 seconds to spare. Fantastic.
We were so ready.
We were ready with the ding, 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 but we didn't get to ding you. All right. Thank you, Apsona, and thank you, Eric from Colorado College, for joining us today and sharing that wonderful story. We'll continue to hear from you, and I'm sure the community is going to love exploring this session again and again as we move forward with our recordings. But